Good day, everyone. Thank you for being here on Market Me Social, Be Social Simple. And I am grateful to have you here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed or given me the thumbs up before, please do so. I really appreciate that as I'm trying to build my channel out. Today, we're going to talk about making a sharp left part 2. So making that sharp left, that just gives us that visual of we got to pivot fairly quickly when making some business decisions today in the climate that we're in. So another set of tips for you as you are facing challenges like all of us are. What do we do about, in particular, what I'm talking about is your digital real estate. This episode is going to focus on your website for a little bit and some items that you do need to pay attention to, and be very, very careful about decisions that you make when it comes to allocating funds towards certain digital things. So to kind of give you the analogy, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if your overall sales and marketing process, it has a lot of in-person components to it. For instance, trade shows or partnership marketing or networking events, anything along that line that you can think of. And now you look at 2020 and those have been cut down to maybe half or 3/4 or who knows. Now is the time, well, those funds need to go towards you building your digital presence. So in reference to your website, here's a few things I want you to think about. Number one, is your website a content management website, a CMS, content management system, however you want to use the acronym? Bottom line, is it a website such as WordPress is what we use for our clients that allows you to easily add content to, that you don't need a webmaster, so to speak, to constantly be adding content to your site? Typically with a few how-to videos, you can be up and running and adding your own content to your website, fairly quickly. So think about that. Look at what your website is. Look at where you're hosting your website. Some systems are better designed for hosting WordPress. And the reason why you want to think about where you're hosting is when you choose certain places that host websites, they're not the best for server speed, as an example, and other components. You want to make sure that your website is operating as fast as possible, since Google does provide some ranking towards overall site speed. Another whole topic on how you achieve that, but know that it exists and you want every advantage possible. So just because somebody says, I can host your website for $2 a month, doesn't mean you should make that decision just because it's $2 a month. Make sure you know where you're putting your money in, because what you pay for is what you are going to get. Website conversion, number 2 item we're going to talk about today. Website conversion is really, really important. Typically, you would think of conversions going back to that in-person environment, partnership marketing, trade shows, whatever they may be. And you would say, well, if I got to shake hands with someone, perhaps give them a business card, set up a time for a cup of coffee or for lunch, that could be considered, which is, although it is a terrible word for it, a conversion. You've made a contact, you've connected with somebody. They may want to do business with you, they may not, but at the very least, you've had a one-on-one interaction with a person or persons as part of their company. So your website needs to be doing the same thing. Simply looking at data and how many website visits is not enough, or simply making sure that you have the right content about your company on your website is not enough. What does that website do in order to take the place and or provide a better foundation for you to make virtual contacts? Does your website do that? What does that contact form do? Are you offering something to people who visit your website, maybe a white paper or a presentation or an e-learning, whatever it may be? There's a lot of different options out there. But what are you doing to get people to opt in to provide you with that virtual handshake? Hi, my name is John Smith. And they put that in that form. And that's the introduction that you receive in your inbox. John Smith has just filled out your contact form or has just filled in your opt-in form and would like more information about this. So those are some things you really need to be paying attention to right now. There's a lot of other items when it comes to your website of how your social components connect to it. And because social, especially organic social, is almost non-existent right now, and don't hate me for saying that, it does exist, but again, another whole conversation. But if you have not been doing anything digitally up to this point, trying to jump into organic social is going to be a challenge. So focus on your website, allocate some dollars there, do some things to help your website to convert, and make sure it brings those virtual conversations to you so you can continue to build those partnerships and those network opportunities. So that's Making a Sharp Left Part 2, talking about some website things that you need to think about. Takeaways: don't skimp on the money when it comes to your website. You're going to get what you pay for. Look for ways specifically to get your website to start converting today. Thanks for being here. Make sure you give us that thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everyone.